Okay, let's jump right in. We're looking at this pretty incredible feat of endurance cycling down in New Zealand.
Auckland to Wellington, 648 kilometers.
Exactly. And the Australian cyclist Lachlan Morton just covered that, what was it, 18 hours and 28 minutes?
That's right. An unofficial record, but, still a massive achievement.
But this one has a bit of a story behind it, doesn't it? It wasn't just about setting a fast time.
Not at all. Morton was very clear this was about honoring a ride from way back in 1983.
Right, the Brian Fleck ride.
Brian Fleck, who was a post office worker in New Zealand, he rode the same road, Auckland to Wellington.
And his time was around 20 hours, wasn't it?
Just think about that for a second. A postie, fitting in a year of serious training around his job.
On a steel bike, probably nothing fancy at all.
Oh, definitely not. Basic gear, and his support was just like a van checking in on him now and then.
It really highlights the sheer grit involved back then.
And it wasn't like Fleck's time stood unchallenged forever. Someone else, Brian Lambert, actually beat it the next year.
So Morton wasn't just chasing a ghost, he was chasing an established, if perhaps lesser known, record.
And that's what makes Morton's approach interesting. He wanted to connect with that history, that spirit.
So even though he's a top pro rider, EF Education Easy Post.
Right, with all the modern advantages potentially available.
He deliberately sort of minimized some of that, tried to echo Fleck's more basic approach.
Yeah, as much as realistically possible for an effort like this today. It was about the spirit of the challenge, not just the tech.
Okay, so let's talk about the engine needed for this. 648K in under 19 hours. That's moving.
It is. And Morton, he's got that background. He's ridden Grand Tours, the Vuelta, the Giro.
So he has that deep professional level base fitness.
Definitely. Plus, you remember that massive ride he did around Australia?
The Alt Tour thing, and then the full circumnavigation, 14,000 kilometers or something crazy.
Exactly. That builds a certain kind of ultra-endurance foundation.
But this New Zealand ride, it's different, right? Shorter, but maybe more intense.
That's exactly how Morton described it. He said it was like 18 and a half hours of just complete focus.
Wow.
And he reckoned it was probably his highest pure energy output for any single ride he's ever done.
Higher than a Grand Tour stage or part of the Australia ride.
In terms of sustained, non-stop high-level output for that duration. It shows the difference between, say, a multi-day stage race or bike packing, where you pace differently, versus a single all-out ultra-distance day.
And it wasn't exactly flat terrain or perfect conditions, I gather?
No, apparently the last 200 kilometers or so, he got hit with some serious headwinds.
Oh, brutal. After you've already been riding for, 14, 15 hours?
That's when it really becomes a mental battle, doesn't it? You're physically drained, and now you're fighting the wind.
Just pushing through. There's no conserving energy at that point if you're going for a record time.
None at all. He did have a support vehicle, but reports say his stops were incredibly brief. Like one stop under a minute total. Just relentless.
And the result, he beat Lambert's record.
By a pretty significant margin, 92 minutes, an hour and a half faster.
That's substantial over that kind of distance. Really shows the level he was pushing.
It does. And again, Morton himself talked about it as chasing a legend, referring back to Fleck.
Which adds that layer, doesn't it? It's not just numbers on a clock. It's connecting across generations of cycling.
Absolutely. It gives the whole effort more meaning, I think.
And he's not planning on resting much, is he? What's next? He seems to be constantly exploring different kinds of challenges, different frontiers in cycling, bike packing, ultra records.
It feels like we're seeing a lot more of that diversification in cycling disciplines lately, which is pretty cool.
Definitely keeps things interesting. So thinking about this for you listening.
It's quite a contrast, isn't it? Fleck in 83 on his basic bike, minimal support, just pure will almost.
And then Morton, decades later, elite athlete, better tech, but still consciously trying to honor that original spirit.
It makes you wonder about endurance, doesn't it? How much is the technology, the training science?
And how much is just that fundamental human drive to push limits, that connection to the past effort? All the modern tools, or finding strength in maybe a simpler, more fundamental kind of grit?
Something to ponder, for sure. The evolution is fascinating, but that core spirit seems timeless.